Hello, guys. We're live today for segment number 72 of Carnivore Muscle Ramblings. Myself, Jonathan, aka Competition Consultant, aka Carnivore Muscle, aka any sort of narcissistic, self-preserving, self-serving name you could possibly think of. I'm here today to answer all of your questions related to carnivore bodybuilding, fitness, nutrition, and health. If you've got any questions, guys, please leave a Q for the question in the chat. I would be happy to answer them. This is a members-only Q&A, exclusive to my kind members who have donated their time and small amount of money to help support my channel. So you can check using the chat today. So we actually have a new member, which I'm very grateful for. And that is Nourishing Life. New member, very good. Thank you very much. Nice to have you on board. We've got Zbigniew here as well. Have a nice evening. And do hit the like upon entry. It'll be very helpful. Also, Rick's here. Thank you for joining, Rick. Nice to see you. We've got Paul. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Hi, Matthew. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, everyone's in slow mode, by the way. Slows you guys down a bit. You asked too many questions. No, I'm kidding. No, I did this with all of my live chats just because I can't keep up with all the things on the screen. It's not too bad when it's members only chat, but when it's the Team GB one, it can be a bit much. Just trying to spot questions. I'm like, you know. Anyway. Just reading for this chat now. Rick made a good point here. So I tell people, if you want to eat plants, get the local ones. If you live in a cold climate, it's not going to be winter fruit. Yeah, outside of where I live right now, so we're talking within the space of, I don't know, 10 square miles of my house right now. If I was to just go out and take some food from the wild, there'd be some berries, which I'm intolerant to. There's some cows in the field, some lamb, some pigs in the nearby slaughterhouse. So I can get some milk as well. That's about it. That's largely it. There is a farm down the road and they grow some different things, but that's about it. They all need, different things to help cultivate them. They're not naturally grown as per se. But yeah, interesting. There's not much local around here, that's for sure. Artificially grown food sprayed with herbicides and pesticides. I have to check that. Last time I checked, there was no EU legislation which permits hormones, herbicides, or pesticides in UK food. Although it may have changed, and I've not checked on it in a few years, so I need to probably look at that at some point. My vegan friends learned how destructive growing plants can be. Yeah, I'm not surprised. But people always make this comment about, like, oh, you need this much ground to sort of, have cattle, this sort of thing. And you're like, okay, great. Well, they're going to eat plant food. They could also eat grass. The thing is, you just grow you have the livestock in the areas where there is grass. That's the simple fix. You're not monocropping the crap out of it. So yeah, it's interesting. It's not something I look much at in terms of like the environmental aspects of nutrition, the food industry. I do care about it, but it's not in my scope of interest whatsoever because there's people out there that understand it a lot better than I do. But I'll look at getting someone on the channel at some point who can talk about that specifically. King Jonathan is in the house, apparently. Very good. I'm not a king, but I'm just me. Ever seen a vegan try it and grow a garden? Not seen that one. Probably be an epic failure. People pay to have their grass cut and the waste taken to landfill instead of being allowed to have small rooms at home. Yeah, that's true. I quite like the idea of having some goat in the back garden or something, or a cow. I don't know. I don't know how much grass they need to eat, but grass grows pretty quickly in my area, so they'll be quite fine. Let me know in the chat, guys. If you got no questions, what I can do is I've made this beautiful little folder on my Google Drive, and I can pin up my most recent troll comments from YouTubers. Might be quite entertaining for you guys to see. So let me know if you want to see that. Otherwise, I'm just happy here to answer questions. I'll probably make a video on it at some point just for entertainment purposes. But yeah, I'm going to try and find... I'm not connected, am I? Actually, update on my website. I now permit pretty much every debit, credit card you can imagine on my website now, so I've got more accessibility. My website is now in 5 different languages, and I'm also using 5 different currencies. So I'm very international. Most of my clients are actually international, so I'll be helpful to some of you guys. Aggravated here. Thank you for joining, by the way, recently, and also thank you for being here. George must be popular if the trolls are targeting him. They left me alone. It's because I'm bold and muscly, and I'm 28, and I look about 31, and they seem to exaggerate and think I look 40. That's pretty much it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm getting very popular with the trolls, which is frustrating for me because it means there's idiots in the world. That's my biggest issue. It's not so much that it upsets me what they say, it's more the fact that they think they can say it. So whether they said I was retarded or, I don't know, ugly, it doesn't really matter. It's the fact they think they can say it. That's what I don't like at all. I don't go around anywhere and point holes in people and say, oh, you look like this. There's lots of very weird looking people in the world, but I don't comment on it because I have something called respect. I'm also sensitive to other people's feelings, which a lot of people seem to not be nowadays. Matthew's got a question, so thank you for the question. Have you read the book Strength Training Anatomy by French author Frederic de Clavier or de Lavier? It's a good book with pictures and all the muscles used in many. No, I've not seen that one. Might be able to pin it up on the screen. French. Let me find his name again. Frederic de Lavier. We're going to have a look now, guys. We're going to put it on the screen and have a look. Okay, so this is the book. I do recognize that book, actually. I've seen it before. It's somewhere in a gym I've been to somewhere. Over 1 million copies sold, translated into over 20 languages, the original and the best. Just got better with new exercises, additional stretches, and more of Frederic de Lavier's amazing illustrations. You gain a whole new understanding of how much muscles perform during exercises. The one-of-a-kind bestseller combines the visual detail of top anatomy texts with the best strength training advice. Interesting. Yes, true. I think you've got the exercise specifics book, but it's somewhat similar to this. But the problem is, it's very hard to create these sort of illustrations, but they do look very good. My gym's actually got this lateral raise machine. It's quite good. Problem is, I find I have to actually get my shoulders right up here when I do it, so I can't do the stand. I have to go right up, so I bring my shoulders slightly further forward, so it's a safer range of motion. But yeah, it's interesting exercise. Looks like some good reviews. I might actually put up my my recent book. I think you guys can see it now. Yes, this is my book. I think I know Matthew's already got it, and but yeah, I'm just going to bring it up now because you guys talk about books. So this is my Beef Up Carnivore Bodybuilding Bible. I finished writing it with Jerome perhaps 3 months ago. I've actually reduced the price on it slightly recently just to be absolutely cheaper than the next best option online. It's very, very, very detailed. It's about 170 pages long. What I might actually do now, guys, I can try and put it on the screen in terms of the actual book. So bear with me. Carnivore book. Books. Beef Up. There we go. Found it. Okay. Okay, the book is coming. Wait. Here we go. So this is my Carnivore Bodybuilding ebook I wrote with Jerome. He went into a lot of detail about the nutrition side, so the training side of it. I went into a lot of detail about the nutrition side of it. So basically, it's an all-in-one book for carnivore bodybuilding. So if you're an absolute noob that knows nothing about diet, training at all, this is probably the best book for you. The healthiest way to build muscle and lose fat. So the main benefits of carnivore diet, based on what everyone says that I've spoken to, is these 3 things. So alleviating the Randall cycle, depleting deuterium, and improving nutrient density and reducing intestinal permeability. And I've got a whole chapter on nutrition bodybuilders, about meal planning, recipes. I will make a actual full carnivore bodybuilding recipe book at some point in the future. So I'm name taking that one. So that was my idea. I know there's other carnivore ebooks about recipes, but mine's gonna be bodybuilding specific for different goals. So it'll be like fat loss recipe versus muscle gain recipe, that sort of thing. Gives you guys a rough idea what I'd look at in terms of my recipes for building muscle, losing fat. And then there's the training side of it, very extensive. A little bit of extra stuff, noteworthy information about longevity, stress management, a little bit about supplements. You can see here I've written 2 pages about supplements. That tells you guys how important it is on my hierarchy of information. Then a load of testimonies, forward from me. And yeah, loads of information. So it's a very big book. It's 174 pages long. Yeah, it's just loads of testimonies I picked up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's well worth it for like 15 British pounds. There won't be a better book than it that ever comes out. I'm certain of that. Just because it took me about a year or so to make. I had to make sure everything that was in that book was absolutely spot on. Yeah, very good. I've been called ugly many times. I laugh at it. Yeah, Rick, I wonder what all the people are like that have said that. Wonder how they look now, like people that might have said it in the past. They probably don't look as fit, young, and healthy as you. So I found it useful for doing my gym instructor and personal training courses. The 3rd edition best. Nice. Yeah, there's a few good personal training books out there. Not many, but there are a few, and that did look like quite a good one. I might have to look at getting that one. Thing is, I've got my green screens behind me, but behind me, I've got my chest of drawers. I've got my chest of drawers is full of books. Like I can't put any more books on there anymore, so I might have to stack them that way. So yeah, I'm not so keen on the 4th edition. Interesting. Yeah, PT stuff's good. Matthew, I would recommend a consultation with Jerome at some point if you get around to it, or asking him some questions. He's probably more well versed than anyone else I know when it comes to training, including myself. So definitely check out Jerome Armstrong. Yeah, for what it is, for a carnivore bodybuilding book, how niche and specific it is, I do like the book. Going back in time, I wouldn't change much about it. I'd probably make it presented a bit nicer. That's about it. But you know, all the content's there, and I've got an audio version as well, which is only £3 British. So recommend you guys check that one out as well. All 3 books, yeah, they're all pretty good. Jerome wrote most of the exercise specifics one. 4, is that 4? I think so. I can't remember now. Hey Nick, what's good? I haven't spoken to you in a little while. Nice to see you here. I just had a consultation with Nick literally like 15 minutes ago, guys. I'm being silly. Hi Mike, nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Good point, Jonathan. The few I have seen now look at a lot worse than me. Yeah, I remember. I mean, I don't like talking about my past that much, just because some things infuriate the life out of me. I try to think about them, but there was this one lad in school I absolutely despised, and he didn't really pick on me, but he picked on everyone. He wasn't a nice kid. I looked at this is when I had Facebook a few months back, and I looked at his profile just out of curiosity because it came up on suggestions. He looked mid-40s. I'm not exaggerating. Grey skin, like wrinkles like that all the time. Like black eyes, like gaunt, frail, looked like a crack user or something. I was sad to see that, because I was like, he might be a better person now, and he might be suffering for his bad choices in life, whether it be diet or exercise or just poor choices in life. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, stress does play its toll on your face and your age, in terms of how you look and your age. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's had a stressful life. So in a way, I pity people that do look significantly older than what they are. You don't know what they've been through sometimes. That's the one. Nick, do you have any additional questions? The chat's very dry today, so I'm just rambling, and I've been rambling for the last 15 minutes. I've answered one question. Yeah, it is sad. That's life, though, isn't it? If any of you wanted to hop on for a little bit, I'm happy to give you guys the link. If I can find it, you have to bear with me there, because I have to press some buttons. There's an invite button there. There we go. Copy. There you go. So that link here is the link to this now. If you want to join now, just hop on. Don't have to. Feel free. I'm only staying on here till about 5 to 8. It's about another half hour or so. Just because it's very late and well past my bedtime. I'm getting old. I'm getting young. I don't know. Yeah, see some more of you come on. That'd be a good idea. Well, here's a good question. Are we humans omnivores or carnivores? Good question. I think we're in a spectrum of the carnivorous, omnivorous animal community. I'd probably define that if I was to think, call it one thing, obligate hypercarnivores. Evidence to support that claim comes from the N15 isotope data and the research done in Tel Aviv, which suggests that our diet has been predominantly animal ruminant meat of around 80% or more. Now, I say hypercarnivore, meaning more than 70%, meaning we know it's at least 70% because we've had at least 80% ruminant meat in various geographical locations in the world. Now, we have some tolerance to other things just because we're, I don't know, a bit frugal. We kind of make do of what's got. That's kind of how we got here. We didn't just eat meat, but we did eat some other things peppered in here at different amounts over different periods of time. So I'd say I'd define us as obligate hypercarnivores, and that seems to be what the evidence we do have seems to suggest. Now, it's not to say that we absolutely thrive on a diet which has to contain fruit, vegetables, herb seasonings, and things in it. But I'd say that those things sprinkled in aren't the worst thing we could possibly eat. I think the main problem comes when we start eating modern foods. So if you're eating, I don't know, maybe the last 10,000 years, maybe we've been eating yogurt, butter, fermented foods, fermented, maybe cabbage might have been around that then back then. I don't know. Berries. That's about it. There's not going to be much other food in our location of the world. So in the UK specifically, I can't speak about the rest of the world. I mean, where Rick lives, there's probably a lot more fruit, because he has bananas growing in his back garden. So yeah, maybe in his area, if that's where he's ancestrally from, although I doubt it. I think he probably came from Europe initially at some point. I'll say, yeah, he probably has a higher tolerance to it. So that's my take on humans being omnivores or carnivores. I'll say obligate hypercarnivore is my jam. But I don't really care too much about names. I've been called lots of names that don't seem to mean a lot to me. So, you do you. And if you enjoy your berries, if you Greek yogurt in the evening, go at it, just as long as it doesn't make you ill. Or if it does make you ill and still do it, that's what we call Darwinism. So there we go. Carnivores aren't shy. Absolutely not. What do you think about Jerry Foreman's B complex up? Take a look. I'm going to Google it. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to share the screen if I can. So I'm not the most speedy at pressing buttons sometimes. There we go. We're live on the screen on iHub. No, this is not an affiliate link. I'm not sponsored. This is just what came up first for me. So I don't care where you buy it. So don't name call me a shill. But Nick's asking about a B complex online. So thiamine mononitrate is fine. There is one form I believe that's better than that. I'm not too concerned. Riboflavin never seems to have its defined chemical term for some reason, so I can't really say. Although it is obviously vitamin B2, but I mean, like, it doesn't say riboflavin nitrate, for example, or whatever. Nicotinic acid, fine. B6, P5P, good. Methylfolate, that's the better one, yeah. So with folate, guys, you want to get 5 MTHF. So 5 methyl tetrahydrofolate glucosamine salt. The dosage will always be quite high, so above 400 micrograms for the most part. You don't want to get folic acid because it's almost a waste of time. If it's B12, it has to be methylcobalamin, which is good. That will always be several thousand%. Use these sort of things intermittently, guys. If you can use a B complex, use it when you're having a stressful situation, when maybe you feel a bit depleted, maybe particularly low on energy. You can use these things, pepper them in a few days here and there. It's not the worst thing to do. I don't believe they're going to kill you. Lots of people in the carnivore space actually do recommend them. They just don't tell you in live videos, which is a bit frustrating because it makes me seem like a shill. D-bartin's fine. Calcium D pantothenate, yes. Choline bitartrate, that's the better form, yeah. And inositol, yeah. That looks fine to me. I don't think anything's missing. Yeah, it's got good doses. Now let's look at the ingredients. So that passes that test, but yeah, let's look at the ingredients. So I usually look at this first, save time, so I don't bother buying it unless it's legit in terms of like the other ingredients and the nutrient ingredients. If that makes sense. Capsule is veggie capsule. Cellulose means plant fiber. Silicon dioxide, that's to stop the machines clogging when they mix it. They can actually make them nowadays, these capsules, without using that ingredient. It's not absolutely innocuous. It is a potentially toxic ingredient, so I don't like that one. I don't like the fiber either, but you'll struggle to find one that isn't fiber, so you have to look for a gelatin capsule ideally. But we're picking at pennies here, ignoring pounds. Calcium phosphate, that's more of a binding agent, more something to give it a bit of bulk. Magnesium stearate's always in there near enough. That, again, very similar purpose to silicon dioxide. And stearic acid as well. Kind of acts as like stops it kind of like bonding together, I think. Yeah, doesn't seem too bad at all. If I was to be picky, I'd probably have to look around, try to find other things. So I might try and actually look for a B complex now. So I recognize a lot of these brands. I can usually tell which is a good one. Life Extension is usually quite good. Yep, that's the same as last one. It's non-GMO. I'm trying to find the ingredients, guys. What's going on? There we go. I'm blind. Yeah, this might be a slightly better option. I didn't look at price, admittedly, so I don't know what the price difference was, but yeah, £8.70. That's a pretty good option. So if you're using that to mitigate the impact of alcohol consumption, you could use that maybe one capsule before, one capsule after, with some taurine, like 5 grams of taurine. Perhaps add in some salt water with that. Drink a lot of water after you drink alcohol, if that's what you're doing. That's probably the quickest way to get over a hangover, despite using a load of other chemicals, apart from using a load of other chemicals. So I'd probably use the Life Extension one. Solga can be fine. We used to sell a lot of Solga in the shop. The problem is it does have, although it is like no this, that, and the other, it does have a load of fillers in it, I find. Oh no, maybe not. What's that? 3 things? Okay. Not much coding in it. Doesn't say what I imagine it's MTHF folate. Yeah, I mean, you got 2 options there, probably a better, but the one's obviously out of stock. You might have to get elsewhere. But I'll look at that price though. Jeez, yeah, I'd go for the Life Extension one. So my first inhibition was good. So yeah, that's what I'd go for, guys. That's just looking at a couple of them. There's probably other options. I think we are originally omnivore because we not really have well-developed tools to effective hunting. Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, it depends what we're talking about, what we are based on our biological makeup now versus what we know we did 10,000 years ago versus what we know we did, 100,000 years ago. For example, we know in a cave, I believe it is in South Africa, 60,000 years ago, roughly, give or take 5,000-10,000 years. Don't shoot me. We found that deep inside this cave, the people were very little, almost like 8 people, but kind of not. And they had fires. So we know they had fires. They cooked something. Now, what did they cook? If you look around that local terrain, they didn't actually have that much vegetation that was edible. That tells me they probably cooked up an animal of some sort. I can't remember for the life of me if they had something there that was like a small rat or a mouse sort of thing. Maybe they cooked a few of them. I mean, to be honest, they'd probably just eat it there and then if it was that small of an animal. But if it's a big animal, maybe they prepared it or cooked it in a certain way. Who knows? We go further back, we probably did come from fish, I think. Seems the most obvious thing to me, in that our feet and our hands go kind of dry when we get them too wet. They go a bit like prune-like, so we can grip onto rocks and hold onto things. That seems to be regardless of whether you're an inlander or a river sea dweller, if that makes sense. So it seems to be an overall human genetic adaptation. Webbed feet and hands, somewhat, a little bit. So yeah, swimming stuff. So that's what makes sense to me anyway. We're going to grab Rick on now, and Rick's going to come on and join from his delightful home studio, eating a steak or a chicken. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm sorry. I'm just having my lunch. That's why I didn't pop in earlier. I thought maybe somebody else would go there, but I guess everybody's shy today.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, we just got the members in today. I thought Matthew or Mike might come on, or maybe Nick, but they're probably busy. It's probably dinner time. Yeah, for a lot of the UK guys, it's dinner time, so I don't blame them if they're just chilling, probably eating a steak or something.
Us poor people, we got to eat pork.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm going to have a fillet of salmon after this, some chicken skewers, and some more chicken. I think that's going to be it.
I've been having chicken every day. I've had heart attack chicken for dinner the last 5 days because it was cheap.
Nice. Yeah, you got it on sale or something?
Presidente was 58 cents a pound. So yeah, it was. I mean, not the cheapest, but it was cheap. And the pork is 79 cents a pound at Sonato's. So hopefully the part will come from my van. Then I can drive there. I won't have to ride 6 miles to the store on the bike. But hey, either way, van, bike, whatever, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get what I need. Nothing's going to stop me from getting my food.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I tend to stockpile it for the most part. But I do like my fresher food sometimes. What I do for anyone that's wondering is I go on a Saturday morning, I pick up my 4 liters of raw milk for the week, sometimes 5, and then I get some raw cheese if I'm eating cheese. I'm not at the moment. I'll get minced beef, so ground beef, and I'll get chicken breast, sometimes chicken thighs. And that lasts about 2-3 days, just because I don't have to carry it in my bag. It's a lot. I eat a lot of food. The other thing is I usually go on Monday or Tuesday, I go to Tesco. That's why I just try and pick up any deals, any offers, anything in the reduction section. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. Then during the week, I actually buy salmon, believe it or not, online from Iceland, which is in the UK, it's like a really cheapy kind of frozen-based supermarket. But they actually do the best salmon I could possibly find online. So go figure. And it's not actually more expensive than some of the other places.
Here comes the mailman. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. All right. So next question from Zbigniew. D-Rebase, they say it's beneficial for mitochondrial efficiency. Any experience and thoughts? Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, I have tried that, and I've bought about 300 or 400 grams of it in the past. I believe it helps fuel the mitochondria, basically. So if you haven't got enough energy coming in, it can be helpful. If I was to use it, it'd be probably. If I was to use it, I'd use it before the gym, a dose of maybe 2 grams, maybe 3, maybe 2 or 3 grams. But I wouldn't say it's absolutely super helpful. I think a lot of the evidence support the claim that it's great for the mitochondria is a bit iffy. It's probably a bit better than eating pure fructose, but that's just my take on it. I wouldn't personally look for it, if that makes sense. I wouldn't deliberately buy it. But I didn't find a significant benefit, but the dosage that people use seems to be 2 to 3. What's that? Fresco, $3.98 a pound.
Fresco, yeah, that would be the T-bone steak. It looks like
that's quite good value.
Oh, it is. I'll be buying some of it.
Yeah,
that's not bad. And look, there's the chicken. See?
Yeah. Oh, the chicken drumsticks, is that?
Yep. For heart attack chicken.
Yeah. Would you use lard or tallow or?
I try to use tallow whenever I have it. Lard is sort of the, that's just sort of a last resort.
Yeah. Yeah, your supermarket flyers are so different to ours.
Really?
Ours are a lot more. I'd say ours seem more like professional, a bit more business. Like yours are more like, I don't know what the word is, a bit like comic-y.
Well, that's the whole idea.
Yeah. Your marketing over there is way different to ours. It's funny.
They want to get your attention.
But by trying to sell you fruit and veg?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they got some limes over here, A for $1. And Sedano's isn't too good, but they have 79 cents a pound right now. See, their chicken costs more money.
Oh, yeah.
But normally what
Yeah.
I do, I hit the different stores, and then whatever store I can find, then I'll go ahead and stock up on whatever meat they have. And that's the great thing about meat, because if you can't eat it now, you can freeze it. So, it's handy. You don't have
Mm.
all those fruits and veggies rotting in your refrigerator like my other friends. Their refrigerator's like a horror movie. You open it up and there's slime running down and nasty, rotten vegetables. And they go, "Oh, I'm going to have a salad." And they pull it out, half of it's rotten. They end up giving it to me. And then all that plastic packaging. I have them give me food for the ducks, and I have to throw out so much packaging. And it's kind of funny because my own garbage can, it's always
Mm.
got everybody else's garbage in it, either from a house I cleaned out or from one of my friends. I never throw anything away. I live this life where, for example, this is all that's going to be left over is this bone from the pork, and I'm going to be throwing
Yeah.
that out in the garden to compost. So it doesn't go in
Yeah.
the garbage.
Yeah, I do that with my dogs. I mean, I spend quite a bit on food now. I mean, it's not an enormous. I probably spend about 75 pounds or roughly $100 a week on food. But I'm
Yeah,
eating really lean at the moment because I'm trying to lose fat. So for me, it's like the meat over here that is lean just tends to cost more money, and I'm eating actually more meat now. Like I'd say I'm actually eating about double what I was eating in terms of meat quantity than I was 2 months ago. But
right.
I was eating really lean, so like 5% fat beef, chicken breast. Then on the weekend, I'm just eating more food. So I'm doing 2 high days in the weekend, 2 and 5 low days during the week. I've got a video coming out soon, guys, just so you know. It'll be titled something like Contest Prep Episode 2, something like that. And just talk about what I've been doing recently, what's happened. I'll put some pictures on the screen and stats because you guys are probably going to ask. So yeah, look out for that one. What's that, a wipe?
Oh, this is the connector I need from my van. Aha,
Okay.
there it is.
Oh, God. I don't have a clue what that does, but it looks technical.
It controls the transmission. The
Yeah.
wires, they got damaged from the heat. It's been like 20 whatever years, so I'm going to go ahead and solder this in, and I'll have my van up and running before you know it.
Nice one. Very good. That's exciting. I've got a question. No, not a question. Matthew's bought all 3 ebooks. Very kind of you. Yeah, our pleasure. I mean, Jerome and I don't get much time to collaborate anymore because we're so busy doing our own stuff. But we're looking to do more stuff in the future, and we're working on something. And I think he alluded to it in a recent video. But we're working on a project at the moment, but it's very behind the scenes, very rudimentary. Right. Oh, wow. I'm glad you know about all this stuff, Rick. I'll be able to bend down and get all the wires attached and soldered, and I'll mess that one up.
Well, that was my degree, was in electrical engineering, so doing some simple wiring should be very simple. And I have to fix everything myself because I'm a poor man. I don't have the money to pay anybody, and even if I did, I don't really trust anybody because I know how mechanics are, and most of them, they're really not the most honest people. They like to take advantage. They can charge you more money than you really have to pay. You don't have a whole lot of choice because if you got to get to work and you don't have a vehicle, well, you're going to lose money. So I think a lot of times they take advantage of it, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, we have that over here in the UK. I think we call it like dodgy dealers or something. Basically, people that sell a service and they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with my car? It's not working." And you take it to your mate who's like an absolute expert. He's like, "Oh, I can tell you what's wrong with it, but I'm too busy or I can't fix it. I don't have the parts, whatever." You take it to the MOT garage. Like, "Oh, you need to spend thousands of pounds on this, that, and new camshaft, new belt, all this sort of stuff." The reality is you don't need any of it. You just need to change your tire or something stupid.
That's right. You get some transmission trouble, you go there, oh, you need $1,800 for a transmission rebuild. That turns out to be a bad wiring connector. Or my friend, the sensor broke, and it was a $25 sensor, and it took like 5 minutes of labor. Fixed it. And he says, oh, they were trying to rip me off. I said, that's what happens. You never know. I mean, I'm not saying all mechanics are crooked, but if they can take advantage of you, they will.
Yeah, that's been my experience. I think just not me because I'm not allowed to drive because I'm too dangerous. But my family have certainly said that and found that for sure. We've got a question here from Paul. What do you and Rick think of barbecue meat? Is it healthy? What do you think, Rick?
Well, I think healthy is a relative term.
Compared
And
to what?
also,
Yeah.
it also depends on what you mean by barbecue. I cook on
Mm.
the grill once in a while, but I prefer my meat to be less cooked. So when I cook on the grill, normally it's going to be only slightly marked on the outside, and the inside still going to be probably mooing. But some people, they throw it on the grill and they cover it up with sauce and they heat it up and they make it super cooked. Um, I think that if you overcook the meat, this is just my opinion, and I've eaten barbecue that was too well cooked, I didn't feel good. What would happen if the meat is overcooked and you eat it, your stomach feels like it's just kind of, I don't know, it's
Churning,
frozen.
dry.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just trying
Yeah.
to handle it, and you just don't feel good. But when you cook the meat less, either low temperature cook it or you cook it quick on the grill, then it goes down real easy. It's very pleasurable. So I think, my opinion, if you're going to eat it off the grill, don't overcook it.
That's a good shout. Yeah, I mean, I used my air fryer today, and I got a roasting bag, plastic, But I put in, put some seasoning in it, salt, pepper. I think I put parsley, coriander. I don't know what I put in it. I put it some green crap, just for the sake of it. But I put that all in there. Then I sealed it up. My chicken breast was in there. Put it in the air fryer, I think 20-25 minutes, and it was like the juiciest chicken breast ever. It's like you cut through it, you can see like the clear liquid come out. So it wasn't dry and horrible. It digested so well. I felt like I could eat like 5 pounds of it, literally.
That's what I had yesterday. I had 5 pounds of heart attack chicken. But chicken conventionally cooked, like my dad used to use something called a George Foreman grill. He would get the leanest white
Oh
meat
yeah,
chicken and cook it in that, and it would make me sick. First of all, I couldn't swallow it.
so dry.
So dry and just flavorless. And sometimes he'd put soy sauce on it and he thought it made it better. It was worse. And then I'd have some heart attack chicken. Heart attack chicken. See, when I eat regular chicken, I got to drink a bunch of water. Like if I go to the
Mm.
buffet with a friend, I'm drinking water by the gallon. I mean, the whole pitcher I can knock out. But when I eat at home, I don't drink any water. And you've seen me eat, and you can see me eating right now. I don't drink water because there's
Mm.
so much fat in the food and it's so flavorful. Even this pork, all I did was just basically boil it, and it's
Mm.
tender and it's delicious. And of course, I'm a caveman. I don't use any knives or forks. Look, I mean, who else would eat something like this?
I I use a spoon for most of my food.
I use my
Because like
hand.
because I use like mince. I just mince beef. I just use that. But yeah. I mean, if it's a chicken wing, chicken leg, thigh. If it is a big steak, yeah, I'll just use my hands. Food does taste better with your hands, I think.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
And the other thing
I'll
is
give
that
one up.
food always tastes better to me when I cook it myself. I don't know what that
Mm.
is. When I go to eat somewhere, if I eat at a friend's house, usually they put me on the grill. So
Yeah.
normally, if they invite me over to eat because they need somebody to run the grill, I know how to handle a grill, and I've cooked. You've seen probably videos of me cooking in my yard and my friend's yard,
Yeah.
just with wood that we find laying around the yard and an old screen and a rod stuck in the ground, a piece of rebar, and we cook delicious steaks and burgers and everything. But when I go out to eat, once in a while, someone will treat me to a steakhouse. It's always a disappointment. The steak is either overcooked or it just doesn't have. It has like a weird flavor to it. It doesn't have that delicious. I don't know what it is. Plus, I can't see it being cooked, and that bothers me because when
You're
you're like
tainting it
me,
with oil.
maybe that's what it is. But you see, if I'm working, let's say I need some fast food, I don't go to a fast food restaurant. I go to my truck or now my van. I put the meat on the engine, I drive around with it, I can smell it. And when you're cooking, you can hear it sizzle. It's just so good. So you start getting hungry. I don't really get hungry. This is the thing. I don't say,
Mm.
well, I'm hungry. No, I'm like my car or truck. I'm looking at the fuel gauge. It's starting to run low on fuel. I want to top it up because I know if I don't, it's going to stall out on me. So what happens to me is I know that if I don't eat when I should, my strength is going to decrease and my energy is going to decrease. So I go ahead and eat.
Mm.
And it's like a social experience, even when I eat by myself, because I go to the refrigerator or the freezer, I get the meat, I put it on the stove. A lot of times I'll be here watching a YouTube video, a lot of times yours, and I'll go ahead and put it on the stove and let it cook. And I usually cook slowly. And if I'm out on the grill, I'll take a portable device with me and look at something on YouTube, or I'll just watch the ducks. And I put it on there,
Mm.
and then you get that sizzle. You get the fire just right, and you hear, and oh, it's so good. And then you smell it, and it just you get more and more interested in eating. And then my problem is I eat too soon because then I start looking at it as it cooks and man, that steak looks good or those burgers look good. I always have to sample a little piece, and then as soon as it tastes good, I eat it, even if it's a little bit faster than I thought it would be. So that's just my experience with it.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. What I'm doing now is I'm trying to like have less food focus. I'm like trying to make eating like more of a thing I just do, like rather than something I enjoy. Now, yeah, we should enjoy our food, but the thing is, when you're trying to lose body fat, you're trying to reduce the amount of food you're eating. You don't want to be thinking about food all day. So, when my food's cooking in the air fryer, it's in the slow cook, I leave it there. I just leave it. And when I come downstairs to get it, I get it then. But I don't sit around it because I just know I'm going to get more hungry. Right. Yeah, but barbecue food, it's all right. I don't know. I think it's fine to eat it. Just don't overcook it. That's my only thing. Matthew's got trout and lamb. Very nice. Trout's quite nice. Trout's like an upgrade of salmon for me.
Oh yeah. I love seafood. I haven't had any in a while, but boy, I love seafood.
Does Rick have a meat grinder? And if so, what does he like to put in it?
I have a meat grinder, but it's a manual one. Oh, I got food all over me. Yeah, and it was one of those with a crank on it. I'll grind beef. Sometimes, I mean, any kind of ruminant meat, I'll grind beef. I don't really grind anything else. I ground lamb. I think one time I ground duck just to see what it was like, but it was better whole. I don't grind pork. Pretty much just beef. And, maybe one day I'll get an electric grinder, but most of the time, if the meat is cheap, it's already ground. So, and with the tough steaks, I like to chew on them. So I generally don't grind it up. If I buy a top round, I'm going to cut it in pieces. It's like Rick's protein bar. You know how everybody likes to have a protein bar with them. Well, I'll cook up some meat and then I'll keep it with me in my truck. And then when it's time for a protein bar, if I don't have time for lunch, I'll just chew on that. It's very satisfying because I like that chewing action. It makes your mouth feel good. That's just me, because I know people chew gum. I don't like gum, but I love chewing on meat.
I chew so much gum. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Of all the things I do, which I'm like, I probably shouldn't do that, but I do it anyway, just because I'm hedonist. It'd probably be chewing gum. The second thing is Pepsi Max, which is going to kill me. I enjoy them. Like I have it, I enjoy it. Oh, that's good. It doesn't seem to kill me, so that's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's probably fine. To me, I'm just a meat and water guy, so I'm probably a bad example.
Yeah, I'm probably not the norm. I'm definitely up and out there. But Mark says, "Oh, nice to see you, Mark. Thank you for joining." Some people's barbecue is more like confectionery. Yeah, I won't say he, but I know someone online, and they do a lot of barbecue stuff in the carnivore space, and they just use a ton of like barbecue sauce. I'm not talking about like low sugar stuff. I'm talking about like Sweet Baby Ray's, honey barbecue, that sort of thing. And they don't tell anyone about it, and it's like, we know you cake all your food in like barbecue sauce, like loads of it, and they use like these gravies and cheese sauces, but they don't use like cheese sauce that they make, cream and cheddar. They use like powder stuff, which is like 80% carbs by gram, so it's not even cheese sauce. But it's funny, really, isn't it?
I've had people invite me for a barbecue and they cook the meat and they put some kind of sauce on it. They told me they did, and I took one bite out and went and spit it out right in front of them. And what's wrong? I said, "This is disgusting. What did you do to it?" "Oh, all I did was barbecue it." Then you find out they put on some sauce. I'm like, I told you, don't put that on my steak. So usually what I'll do, I'll either feed it to the ducks or I'll get the garden hose and wash it off. So I keep
then put it back on the grill to heat a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, I have a brush. I have like a little plastic, like a little, what is it? Like a bristle brush, and I'll take it and I'll wash it off under the hose. Then I'll put it back on the grill. Now, why did you do that? I said, I had to get all that nasty stuff off of the meat.
Yeah. Yeah,
everybody knows now.
Over here we don't do that. Like when we bake a barbecue, it's like we might have bacon, we might have sausages, maybe eggs on a pallet thing. The beef burgers are just the beef burgers. They just get put on there, they get taken off. We don't add extra stuff to it. So I find that quite odd. Like, what, that's sort of thing you leave to the person. You put it all on a picnic table. You say, "Oh, here's your bun. your lettuce, whatever, and have the sauce if you want it. And you'd probably just pick up the steak off the thing and just start eating it, but maybe a little napkin, maybe.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's, and you see it a lot with the hamburgers, because what they'll do, when I do the grill at a get together, I put the burgers on one tray, and then you have the buns and the lettuce and all that separate. We have a place here called Burger King. I'm sure you've heard of it. And they
We've got
used to
that
have,
one, yeah.
yeah, they used to have a saying, "Have it your way." So
Yeah.
that's what I believe. Have it your way. But a lot of times you go to someone's house, they'll make up the burgers, and then they'll put a bunch of ketchup and all that in there. And then I have to do the same thing, take the burger out, wash it off with water, and then put the stuff in a bag. I said, "Why are you doing that?" I said, "That's for the ducks. The burger's for me." But once somebody knows me, then they know not to do that.
They
They'll
have your own
usually,
section on the grill. Yeah.
right. What they'll normally do, they'll have at the end of the get together, they just send me to the grill with the burgers. And okay, and
Mm.
that's it. Because otherwise, it turns into an embarrassment.
Yeah. Nowadays, I just cook my own thing. Like if I go to barbecue, I just bring my own stuff. I don't want to stress out other people. I don't want to stress myself out, so I just avoid the situation. But slow cooked lamb is my favorite on Sundays. Yeah, it's Easter coming up soon. It's very a lamb time of year for us. And Andrew's saying he'd like to have a nice home cooked carnivore meal with friends, and he likes the social side. Yeah, that's the thing over here, Rick. They use they're not quite as bad as the States, but they use seed oils and quite different things. So for example, I went to a place called Nando's on Thursday or Friday, my friend, and I got a whole chicken. He got some other crap basically, but it's seasoned in this marinade, like a spicy marinade. Now I'm not really here or there for spice. I think you take it or leave it, I don't really mind. But I do have a problem if those things have seed oils in them. I don't want that at all. I'm actually probably more scared of the seed oils than I am the spiciness of it. But yeah, they if they use a bit of oil on the grill thing, that's but it's not too bad now because they all the chicken that comes out, it's like with the skin on it. So most of the oil and the sauce stuff would have seeped into the skin, because I'm not eating the skin at the moment because I'm trying to lean down. But different times of year for different diets, for different meals out for me. But yeah, most places hard for me to eat out. I can only eat out in about 3 or 4 places quite safely. But Andrew's more strict than me. He doesn't have any seasonings at all. He's pretty much meat, salt, water, maybe eggs sometimes, ghee, butter maybe.
That's one of the things that I've faced. Whenever my parents would take me out to the buffet or friends would take me there, then I can't eat the skin of the chicken because it makes me sick. I'll get a headache the next day. And then I have to drink a bunch of water with it. So I'll eat the fried chicken, but I peel the skin off. I usually put it in a bag, stick it in my pocket, and give it to the ducks later. But the same thing, anything. I don't know why they use those stupid seed oils, because at home, when I cook my own chicken, I eat everything. I even chew on the bone. I love chewing on bones. My mom used to say I should have been a dog because, I'll sit here and chew on the bone for a long time. So I don't know where that came from.
I think the oil thing's about it just chars it quicker because it goes rancid really quick. It gives it that black sort of char. People obsessed. I mean, I like that, but they don't want to cook it. They don't want to cook it for a long period of time. They want to cook it quick, so they try and find a way to conduct more heat, I guess.
That's a good point, because I am the opposite. I don't want black marks on my steak. I want as little blackness as possible. But see, the other thing about seed oils, when I've cooked for other people using seed oils, it's a tremendous mess because that oil oxidizes so quickly. It gets into the air, and then the bottom underneath the stove gets sticky, and it gets on the wall. It gets everywhere, and it's just terrible. And the smell gets on your clothes, and you can't get rid of it. It's a nasty thing. And I use it as a fuel, so I know what seed oils can do. But when you cook with lard and tallow, it's so easy to clean up. You just wipe it off, a little bit of soap, and that's it. And you don't get that buildup on the vent. So I don't know why people use that seed oil. Nasty. I guess, like you said, it just cooks faster.
Yeah, it's annoying, really. It doesn't add to the flavor, that's for sure. I mean, I remember once when I was younger, and I was probably about 18. I had a bowl of pasta with cheese in it and butter, and I was like, oh, I saw one of the famous chefs, put a bit of olive oil in it. I did that, and I was like, oh. It actually made the taste from maybe an 8 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10. The taste of it was the smell. I don't know what it was, but it did not smell like something I'm meant to eat. That's what I know.
Olive oil is nasty. My dad always used to push it as a health food, but I hate the smell of it. and when you heat it up, it just goes rancid so quickly. You know, it's like the whole salad thing. You know, when I went on the vegan vegetarian type diet, I was eating the salad with nothing on it, and people looked at me like I was crazy. Why are you eating salad with nothing on? I said, well, you want me to be plant based. Why do you want me to put all this other stuff on it? And then
Yeah.
I used to tell them, I said, probably the only thing you like about the salad is what you put on it. I mean, it's basically just compost. So it's the cheese and the oils and all that other stuff you put on it that makes it taste good to you. And I'm
Mm.
sure that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's about right. That makes sense. Mark uses a slow cooker and a roasting bag and lets it cook overnight for at least 8 hours, moist at 10. And most moist, blah, blah. You also use that method. That's interesting. I need to try that. So what I've been using is I bought a rice cooker maybe 4.5 years ago. So about half a year before I started the carnivore diet, because I was bodybuilding and I was eating 1,000 grams of carbs at that point. So I had to eat a lot of rice. So I'd fill up like half the tub, which is about that big. It's a big old, I imagine it holds about 10 liters of water, maybe 10, 15 liters. So I had like rice in there. I'd cook that up and it boil over and whatnot. But now I started actually slow cooking my meat in there. But I literally get a joint of beef, so about 1.2 kilos, put it in there, put some salt in there, some water, and cook it on max for like pretty much overnight. Then in the morning, it's like a beef brisket, like really juicy. I enjoy that a lot, and it's like the lazy man's cooking. So I just go in there in the morning to take out what I want and have more throughout the day. So that works really well for me. But I need to try it with the roasting bag though. So good. Thanks for the shout there. It's a good choice.
I guess that's the whole thing, like the sous vide idea. You know that. I mean, the main thing is that food doesn't taste good when it oxidizes. So I think that if you can keep it closed up, like stewing and all, that's why stewing tastes so good. You know, if you're going to grill, you got to do it
Mm,
quick, and you need to have a lot of fat and a lot of moisture to get a good grilling experience. But yeah, when you're cooking in a pot, you know, it's like they used to say, it goes to pot. Whatever meat was not
mm.
that great, you just put it in the pot and cook it up. So that makes sense. I like that idea.
Yes, it's crazy easy. I mean, especially if you know you're going to eat a lot of food and you just eat the same thing. Like, remember in the past, Sophie would be like, "Oh, you're just eating this." I'm like, "Yeah, I can literally just eat from that pot all day. Maybe cook some eggs, add some cheese to it, some salt, and that's good enough for me. I don't care." Got Nicole here as well. Thank you for joining, Nicole. Nice to see you. So Nicole's probably just came off work, I imagine. Which came back. And Nick had to jump off. Yeah, no worries, Nick. I went for a bit of detail, so I think I looked at the life extension one. That was the one I recommended. Everyone's saying hello. Hi, fashionably late again. Now, Lambs is from the Scandinavian region of the world, so he's a few hours ahead of me. So he tends to have later nights. So for him, it's about 10 or 11 o'clock, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. Lambs, what time is it where you're at? Let me know. We're running out of questions, we're running out of chats, we're running out of stuff.
Oh.
You stay for maybe 4 or 5 more minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So upcoming videos, guys. So for me on my channel, I've got a video on well, all you guys have actually seen the current ones, but okay, the next ones that are coming out, because the ones that are currently out to you guys that you've already seen, that you're already listening now, you've already seen. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me find my thing. It's on my Google Drive. Bear with me. Yes, I've got my second contest prep video where I talk about it and stuff. And Nicole and I did a video, recorded it a couple of days ago. So that was like a 1 hour long reaction video we did. So that'll be out at some point. I'm just waiting for that one to be mixed. Then I'll edit that one and produce it and render it and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, the next 2 videos coming out are a critique video and a contest prep video. So look out for those ones. While I'm here, if you're in the chat now, respond quickly and let me know what kind of video you want next. So I do actually tend to listen to my channel members and moderators a bit more than other people because I respect them, obviously. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. 8:54 p.m. Also, he's only an hour ahead, Rick. It's not actually that far. It's not bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not too far. I've been told from an outside source we have someone called Amy in the chat right now. Apparently.
Huh.
Yeah. Very good. Time to hop in a client call. Have a great afternoon, evening. Nice one. Cheers, Nicole.
Yes.
Yeah, this is weird. So today I had 2 consults. Yesterday I had 2. The 2 yesterday didn't turn up. And I was like, that's really weird. Rick, have you ever had that where you've like been booked in for something and the person's like not there or whatever?
It happens from time to time. I've actually gone out to the job site and then nobody's there, but you know what? I charge them for it, so that's what else can you do?
Yeah, I mean, when people consult with me, you're not paying for the consultation; you're paying for the time. Because you can't buy time back. I can give you the information anytime. I can't regain that time that I've lost, sort of thing, waiting around for someone.
Right.
But I'm quite genuine though. I give these people quite a good discount code for use next time, sort of thing. Because I'm like, oh, maybe they got stuck up in something, they got busy, something happened, they forgot. You know, it's not always their fault. So in which case, I just give them a discount code to buy more stuff if they want it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, bodybuilding content prep videos. That's the next one out. I think you might have seen that one. So I'm going to try and do one every roughly 2 weeks. I think it's quite doable for me, based on my current schedule. So about every 2 weeks, I can pump out one of those. What I do basically is I post up my progress pictures, changes in the diet, changes in the training, if there are any. What my mindset is going into it, maybe addressing a few common questions I'm currently having about diet, different foods I'm eating. Yeah. But it should be a good mini series. It's hard to know what to talk about because, you know, outside of like the obvious things like what do I eat, you know, how do I train, what other stuff to do, do I take supplements, that sort of thing. There's very little I can actually mention in a video. But Rick, did you have any ideas?
I don't know. I guess it depends on what people like to see because I like all your videos. I mean, everything from your cooking videos to your prep videos. So that's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick, do you have any upcoming videos? I know you've been quite busy recently. But,
I do. You know, my biggest problem I've had is with my van being broken. Everything kind of came to a halt, and I'm thinking it is the 40-year anniversary technically, because you know it was August. What was it? August '83. I started the diet, and then I had 7 months of plant-based, and then so this is March. So I wanted to make a 40-year anniversary video, but I I haven't done it for some reason. I don't know why. It just seems like I haven't had the time. I think I spent too much time watching everybody else's videos.
yeah, you're a good supporter. I mean, I don't watch many people's videos, to be honest, in the carnivore nutrition space. But nearly under most videos I happen to watch for whatever reason they pop up. I'm like, oh, Charger Mopar said something. You always see something really insightful, and you don't bully people. Like I've seen you go on Joey's channel where he's gone on a bit of a rant about something. You find some way to put a positive spin on it. You know, I quite like that because most people just want to, you know, negate people and put them down. You know.
It's interesting you say that because I've always been accused of being negative, that I'm negative about people. And then on the other hand, the most intelligent people I know, they always tell me that I have a positive attitude. So, and I think it's interesting because I could say the same thing and a person sees it 2 different ways. So
It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is weird because for those of you wondering why I'm saying that, like what bring this thought to my mind is that Joey Schwartz is a young man who's in the carnivore community, much bigger channel than mine. He is all for carnivore. Now he's maybe less as much. He's more about doing different things. Fair enough, each to their own. And basically what happened was Rick was on his channel maybe a year and a half or a year ago, whatever it was. And it's a big video. Lots of people watched it. It was viral pretty much. Anyway, since then, Joey's no longer doing that. And I watched one of Joey's videos recently because it popped up on suggestions. I was like, oh, what's this about? And I was like, well, it could be a bit clickbaity, but it might be interesting. And it was quite interesting to listen to what he had to say. Basically said, stop stressing about the small stuff and worry about the big stuff, which I can completely get behind. And I completely agree with. So yeah, what it was is I noticed Rick said something. It wasn't like a negative to what he was saying, but he almost explained something that Joey was saying in the video, but better than how Joey was explaining it. And I was like, that's very interesting. I kind of knew what he was saying and what he thought, but in the first instance, but I didn't actually know how to. I wouldn't have pictured that in my mind initially. So sometimes, like, you have this information, but you can't see it unless someone explains it to you in a more concise way.
Well, that's true. And I taught at the college for 13 years. I was teaching electronics, and I had a lot of students that they had no idea how anything works. So I came up with ways of explaining it in ways they could relate to, and it really helped. And in
Mm,
fact, I think out of everyone that was there, I had the highest grade point average in my students because I would prepare them for the test so they wouldn't have any issues. I have no
yeah.
idea why some people I think some people try to make themselves look intelligent by using certain terminology, but I think on the other hand, some people just they're not really aware of how things really are. You know,
Mm,
they look at the world from the way that they've seen it. And I think the younger you are, the harder it is to understand. Once you've been around as
mm,
long as some of us have, you get a pretty much different view. I mean, you could be 30 years old and have the experience of a 60-year-old, and you could be a 60-year-old and have the experience of a 15-year-old. So it's not
mm.
just that it's just not the number of years you're on the earth, but it's what you've done in that time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the most experienced person, but I'd like to think I'm probably more experienced than most people my age. I'm quite a deep person, so anyone that is a member of my channel knows I talk about lots of different things. And I'm not a world expert at everything by any means at all, but I do think about things a lot. I'm very my personality type, for anyone wondering, is INTJ, and it's a broad way of looking how you would define yourself based on a set of characteristics from a very 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 long test quiz thing. So introverted, intuitive, thinking, and what's a J for? Judging. That's my character traits. Bit of a cynic, maybe a bit arrogant at times, but also quite realistic. So there's pros and cons, but that's my type. Rick, I
Right.
should get you to do it at some point. You should definitely do it. I'd be interested to see what you are.
That would be interesting. Yes.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll email you the test after. I'll do it in a little bit actually.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got from Andrew said you could talk about the mental aspect of cutting and motivations. That's a good question. Yeah, Andrew, you released a really good video recently, and it's just a live video off the cuff. And I thought, wow, it's very thought provoking. Like I watched a good 45 minutes of it, and I don't usually watch a video for more than 10 minutes. He's talking about how he's dealing with some personal stuff at the moment. It's just interesting how he's speaking about it, but not from a poor me kind of viewpoint, like a lot of people do. It's more like this is not good right now, or something I've struggled with. I'm looking to overcome it, and I've got the patience to the maturity to do that. And I found that a good talk. So if anyone's not subscribed to Andrew yet, why not? Very interesting bloke. Kent Carnivore has some interesting videos. Yeah, he did a recent one with me, believe it or not, which was quite interesting. I got a lot of grief for that one. I had to block about five to 10 people in that video, but yeah. Yeah. Is it so long story short, is a video about carnivore bodybuilding. So how do you improve your body using a carnivore diet? And that's what he's asking questions about. And I told him all the ins and outs and sport specific stuff. The comments below were like, "Oh, yeah, but it's not healthy for you because it's a stress to your body, and I don't know, you'll age fast." I'm like, well, why did you bother to click on the videos about bodybuilding then, you moron? Why do you spend 40 minutes pressing a button, watching a film or an episode, or whatever, about something you don't like or don't agree with at all? You're a moron. You're an idiot.
I would think that it would be common knowledge that bodybuilding is a stressor and it does age you, and there's nothing that you can do about that. It's the price that you pay for the results that you get.
Yeah, everything has a cost. I'm not on here saying, oh yeah, you need to be 300-pound bodybuilder, 4% body fat. I'm just saying, if you want to do something a bit like that to a bit of a more modest kind of degree, this is probably the best way you're going to do it. So I'm actually minimizing harm and minimizing risk and damage to other people by creating these videos. So the upper echelon of people that are trying to get from a good body to a really good body, they're the people that are my audience. Like you, Rick, you're trying to get shredded right now for summer.
Right. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I've had people say this before because I have a friend that's been a bodybuilder for years. Now he actually looks pretty good he's going to be 50, but they said, well, bodybuilding it shortens your life, and he says, you know what else shortens your life even more than that? Being a
Being
fat.
an asshole.
Yeah, well, a fat, and I don't want to say the word online what he said, and he looked at him like, oh, and this is the thing, you see people all the time going to the store, going around, they got a big stomach hanging out. They have no right to be criticizing somebody who's trying to build their body, saying that they're going to shorten their life when they themselves are shortening their life. It's
Mm.
it's it's and I notice all the people that criticize others always have big flaws. I've never seen anybody that seemed to have their life together that was out there trashing others.
Yeah, I'll bring up one of the troll things because I just found it a bit funny recently. There's quite a few, so you might have to bear with me to find it. Oh, there we go. Got it. Stream, present, share screen. Okay, guys. So this was on Kent Carnivore's channel. It's my good friend Lee. Really nice bloke, by the way. If you've not spoken to him or met him, I highly recommend getting in touch with him. Just looking at his channel.
Videos.
Yeah, he's a nice bloke. He's a real person, a real human being, which is
That's good.
Not often you find these people nowadays. But anyway, this is from a guy called Glenn Bishop, Conjuring Collage. So he's an estimate somewhere between the age of 50 and 70. He's bitter. He's morbidly obese, and he looks like a sack of shit. Well, he said much worse things to me than that. So I don't feel too bad about saying that. I wouldn't pick on him otherwise, but basically he says, I'm amazed at the lack of knowledge that these kid bodybuilders have. Well, in another comment, I was late 40s or something. Okay, I'm a kid now. In my opinion, people that work out, that feel weak after a workout, are not taking their recovery seriously. That is rest nutrition. Yeah, I agree. Rest nutrition is very important. Raw milk was also considered as a superfood by the early bodybuilders when bodybuilding was called physical culture. It was called physical culture for a period of maybe 1 or 2 years. Then they realized it sounded a bit bizarre, like it didn't really make much sense. It wasn't very specific, so they started framing it as bodybuilding. And in my opinion, this video shows the difference between physical culture and bodybuilding. Physical culture is all about health and strength. Bodybuilding as a sport today is all about winning contests and selling ball split products and courses to suckers. Yeah, I'd kind of get behind that. And yeah, there are a lot of industry shills that are trying to sell rubbish products to people. But in the end of the day, bodybuilding is, physique sport. We had just this weekend, we had the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. And that's the second biggest bodybuilding competition in the world. And the winner got, I think, $300,000 or $400,000. So it is a real sport. And then the next bit they said was, if a person is drinking coffee, which is a plant, they're not carnivore. Period. And if you're drinking a protein powder that is flavored with chocolate or vanilla or fruit, you're not a carnivore. These flavors are made from plants, and consuming plants is not carnivore. I was basically repeating himself about 6 times, basically saying what he's referring to is the fact that in that video I said I sometimes drink coffee, which is true, most people do, and I sometimes have sweeteners and things and artificial crap, which everyone does, I think.
Not everyone.
Well, everyone apart from maybe Andrew, Ewan, Michaela Peterson, and Jordan Peterson. That's about it. But outside of that, most people have creamer and add extra stuff. I've seen it. But yeah, I was like, okay, so we don't have any living carnivores right now, basically, apart from Rick. I mean, yeah.
Well, what's the big deal? That's what I tell people. It's like my friend he's ex-vegan. He's 50% meat and the rest of it's plants. Well, actually eggs, plants, whatever. And he's doing absolutely wonderful. I mean, what is he? He's like 40, 45, something. No, 40, 44. I don't know. I always thought he was like 60, but it's just amazing that all his digestive problems disappeared. And that's only 50% meat. He's still eating broccoli and he's still eating onions and garlic and all that, which he thinks is good. But you know what the secret is? He's cooking it with the meat. So who cares if you add spices to your meat? You want to put pepper on the meat? Go ahead and do it. You want to have onions with your burger? Go ahead and do it. But as long as you stay away from the bread, the pasta, all the processed foods, that's what I've been saying for years. I mean, you talk about Joey's video, he deleted the first one that we did. But if you look at the interview that he did with me that had 200, 300,000 views, I even mentioned that not everybody has to be 100% carnivore. If you're eating 70% or more of your diet as carnivore foods, then you're a carnivore in my book. You want to eat some plants? Eat the locally sourced plants. You want to add spices? Humans have been using spices for thousands of years. Whatever it takes to keep you on the diet. Because the thing
Mm.
is, if you try to go totally strict and be like Rick, just chewing on a bone, and you get bored with it, what's going to happen? You're going to drive by the Krispy Kreme donuts and you're going to go in there and load up with donuts, or you're going to go to the Chick-fil-A, or you're going to go to one of these places. Everywhere you go in the US especially, you're going to smell fast food everywhere. And if you're
Mm.
tempted by that nasty stuff, what choice do you, I mean, what chance do you have? You're driving in the car, you're hungry, and you smell that food, and you think, oh, at home I have some meat. Okay, but I can't use any spices, and I can't drink a diet soda. No, I can't do any of that. So what do? You go to the fast food place, have a big Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper or whatever, and you eat a bunch of stuff cooked in seed oils, a bunch of bread, and a big apple pie to go with it. Which one is
Mm.
worse? I mean, really?
Yeah, like Stan Efferding once said, he's a bodybuilder powerlifter guy, and he's like, oh, compliance is science. I'm like, yeah, really. Jerome, said the same thing. He's like, well, if I can take people from a crap point to a better point, that's good enough. And if they can stay there, it's even better. Now, if you're going to sort of degrade people because they have a full caffeine coffee or whatever, or they put, I don't know, some sweetener and something, well, get a grip. Come on.
Right.
It doesn't seem to be killing all these carnivores that are putting all these diseases into remission. Personally, I've tried with and without it for admittedly short periods of time. I don't notice a difference. So that's just
But
me. Maybe,
it's
down the
a
line,
step.
if it changes, I'll change it.
It's a step-by-step process. If if you're going to go up the stairs, you're not going to jump. You're not going to strap a rocket pack and go right up the stairs in a second. You got to go one step at a time. If you still have to hang on to the coffee, just hang on to the coffee. Just don't put the sugar in it. Just put the cream in it. Put butter in it, whatever. I mean, obviously coffee is a toxic plant, but if you moderate it with fats and you eat it with meat, how much damage is it really going to do? I can't imagine it doing any damage. But people
Mm.
get so strict. Oh no, you can't have this and you can't have that and you can only do this. It's just ridiculous. That's the
Yeah.
problem. So what happens? The carnivores turn into the vegans. The vegans, they just get upset. Oh, you can't eat any animal products. You can't even eat an egg. But yeah, but the egg's not fertilized. Oh no, 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 but you can't eat it. It's
Mm.
crazy. So that's what's happening. And I've had people tell me this. Well, Rick, you're a carnivore, but you cook food that's not carnivore. I said, absolutely. When I
Yeah.
have a get together at my place, I have popcorn because I know that people like popcorn. I said, sure, but what am I going to do? Am I going to give them candy and donuts? No, I give them popcorn. Yes,
It's a
popcorn is
better alternative. Yeah.
right. But the thing
Yeah.
is, the popcorn I grow myself. I grow the
Ah.
popcorn, I harvest it. The coconut oil, I use either lard or coconut oil. Coconut oil comes from the coconuts in my yard. I use lard. If the salt, I grind it myself. The butter, I put butter in there. It's the best popcorn they've ever had. And I try to explain to them it's natural food. It's not carnivore. It's not good for you long term. But if you want to eat some, go ahead and eat it. It's not going to kill you. If you eat a bucket of popcorn and you don't do it again for a while, what difference does it make? It's like anything
Yeah.
else. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. My brother's a bit like that. So my brother, I'd say, is probably hyper carnivore now. So he has essentially 2 meals of carnivore, 1 meal isn't. The 1 meal that isn't still has mostly protein in it.
Hmm.
Yeah. I want to put up before I get, so just everyone knows I have read everyone's comment on the screen, and Rick can also read through them as well. I'm going to go very shortly because I'm in a lot of pain now, but I just wanted to bring your attention to this one single thing. If I can share it, so bear with. Can you really? Okay. This came up literally a few hours ago. So this guy commented on a video I did with, I think it's my video actually. I was saying about, can you eat only meat and be lean? Something like that. So the most recent video I've done that was public, so 20 minutes long. Lean from what? Carbohydrates? You mean crap foods high class countries could actually call food? Or do you mean real and only carbs earning the name ripe fruits that nature intended for us? If lean from crap, then yes, meat does the trick, just a fast and potential as any lose weight quick pill. Typical for Americans seek for overnight human-based solutions instead of actually seeing the whole picture and appealing to nature and our true nature. Everything not fruit that's presented as food in this conversation is plain crap because it needs preparing to enter a body that in the end will try to assimilate it as fruit, the way you're not lean. Okay, so he's of the fruitarian agenda. Basically, all my meat, guys, all my protein is turning into fruit. Believe it or not. So we've got it all wrong. So we're all actually fruitarians, guys. I had to comment this one because I was going to just tell the guy to fuck off or something, honestly. But I had to comment. And I said, because that comment is so stupid. I was like, oh, whatever. I went, ho, 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 you're so funny, moron. He can't even speak proper English. So, I struggled to translate what he said. It took me a few attempts. But I linked him to my latest photo, which is an Instagram, which is me looking sub 10%, well, around about 10% body fat, huge, lean, definition of my quads, abs, which you can't see because the lighting's funny, and I've got hairy belly, triceps, detail everywhere. I'm not shredded by any means, but I'm certainly not what you might call fat. Anyway, I said, get a life, you sad, vile human being, because basically I'm kind of getting to the point that he can't be human if he thinks we eat fruit, eat protein like meat, and it turns into fruit. Then he left me a load of other comments. I think he deleted a few of them, and he's actually posted a new one just now. Back at you, and thanks for name calling and completely avoid that you might know nothing about food like most people. Still, even with these photos, I see nothing normal. Unforced upstage, thus nothing beautiful. But then again, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Now, I don't know what he means by unforced upstage. Do you know what he means by that?
No, I've never seen that before.
I don't know if it's a language thing, because maybe he doesn't speak proper English. I don't know, but he is a lot of smileys. Maybe, yeah. He's changed his post a couple of times. He's actually deleted his old ones, but yeah, it seems to me like, yes, you are a vile human being because you said something about me talking, I don't know, eating crap food. Yeah, something here. Then he said, I'm not lean. And he's obviously ignorant as fuck. So I called him. I'm not shredded, guys. I'm not in contest shape now. No, I'll be in contest shape in 13 weeks. I'm at a relatively healthy body fat right now. And I'm definitely on the leaner side of humanity. But yeah, this guy was just an absolute troll, an absolute moron as well. Thick as arseholes.
People just don't understand. The more muscle mass you have, your percentage is going to change versus someone who's just skinny.
He looks trustworthy.
I wonder who that is. Some celebrity?
That's him.
Oh.
Fight and love for your love. Oh, sorry, guys, I'm not very good at zooming. Fight and love and fight for your love. Live a full life and need no healing.
It looks almost like an AI.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they never have any videos.
I found him on Instagram anyway, but that's him, guys. So he's probably about late 20s, but looks about 40. Dark eye circles, more receding hairline than me. Funny enough, I do actually have more hair than I grow it. Very strange facial structure, fat lips. I don't know. I'll probably get my channel removed for that. But yeah, so this guy's certainly not a picture of health, in my opinion. He doesn't look particularly healthy. But what do I know? I'm just a fat carnivore blob.
Yeah, well, but again, look at all these people that put those comments. None of them ever have any videos. I've had a few of those troll comments, and they never have any videos. I even told one, why don't you put a video on your lifestyle? Says, oh no, I have a life to live. I don't have time for that. And then I put another comment, well, you seem to have plenty of time to critique others. And then it stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just one of about 15, 20 I saved over the last few days, basically.
I think they're just jealous. They're just quite jealous.
Tame. Yeah, probably. I'll go with that. That sounds better to me. Anthony Chafee says caffeine pills are better than coffee. Do you agree? I remember him saying that. Yeah, I spoke to him about that before. I think, yes, vastly in most situations. I think there's probably instances where certain coffee extracts could be useful for certain diseases, intermittently in a therapeutic medicinal kind of way. But I'd say, largely speaking, if someone was to say, right, you can have caffeine for your life or coffee for your life, assuming the same caffeine content, the coffee is going to have slightly more plant. Well, it's going to have a lot more plant toxins than straight caffeine pills. What do you think, Rick?
I think that a lot of times you can use plant extracts as a short-term solution. I know that some people, they've had parasites, they've used plant materials to extract the parasites. Also, I know people that have used things like aloe vera and other plants for skin infections and for irritation and stuff like that. So I think that if you're just using one part of the plant, it's more like a medicine. It's easier to control. But when you use the whole plant, now you have all these variables. And I know that one plant growing in one place could have a vastly different chemical complex than one growing in another place. But if you're taking caffeine extract, then you're getting an exact amount of a known chemical, and then you can adjust it up or down. But when you're just consuming the plant, you don't really know what you're getting until you feel the outcome.
That's right. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Absolutely. Makes sense. I'm going to wrap this up now, guys. My backside is in a lot of pain. But yeah, you call him a fruitarian, I'll call him a nutter. That's for my favorite comment of the day. I love that. Cheers for that. We could go through this every week, guys. I could just stack them all up and put them in a little file, and we could have a bit of a laugh.
It's always funny.
Usually it's I'm fat, bold, I look old, bodybuilding is unhealthy, you're an animal killer. The animal killer thing I don't really care about because it's just stupid.
Everybody's an animal killer.
Literally everyone is an animal killer. What else is there? I don't know. They tried to make some sort of like overpowering, condescending kind of sway on what they say, like as if I'm the child and I need to learn from them, even though they, as Bart here, say no dick about fuck. I've forgotten more than what they know about carnivore bodybuilding, for fuck's sake. So yeah, I know a thing or two about carnivore bodybuilding for sure. Other stuff maybe not, but I don't really talk much about other stuff, guys. I can talk about my experiences and what I do know. Autism, mental health, carnivore bodybuilding. That's what I know. So that's why you're channel members of my channel. For that sort of stuff. Yeah, I need to start doing some more interviews at some point, get some people on for different things. But a lot of people that I've tried to approach don't want to go on.
I was surprised nobody on the chat today wanted to join in. I mean, I always join in because I'm a long-term carnivore, and we carnivores, we're not afraid of talking to anybody. Even when I was younger, you get in front of a crowd, some people would get nervous. I never got nervous. I had fun with it. So I don't know. I always thought that had something to do with just being rebellious, but it's fun.
Yeah. I've always been a bit. I would say been rebellious for the sake of rebelling against it, but I've always been a bit skeptical for sure. I'm a bit, I'm thinking twice about things. So even when I think, with my clients, for example, a lot of them are like, oh, should I do strict carnivore diets or strict lion diet? I'm like, well, let's just see what happens for another week. Let's give it another week and see what happens, because everyone wants to chop and change and rush things all the time. So I always try to look into the future as well. So, okay, maybe they do a different diet or training plan, whatever example you think of, different supplements or stuff I don't recommend much of. Then I sort of say, well, give it another week, see what happens. Because sometimes you just need that extra week for it all to settle in and seep in, consolidate. Then something works. I find that so often, so I don't rush into things nowadays.
Right. That comes with experience.
Yeah. And age, because I'm over 40 now, Rick.
Well, I don't know. I always thought under 40 was the same as 20, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, you don't look 50 or whatever it is.
55.
55. Jeez. How about critiquing some Zoe videos? Stephen Bartlett Dragon is now on best for them. I could have a look at them, Nick, and I've looked at some, but the problem is they're so bloody long. So I can't sit here for 3 hours to critique them. So what I've worked out is, for me, a brief kind of critique video is about 3-to-1 ratio. So a 10-minute video, 10-minute clip that I'm looking at will take about 40 minutes to critique. So if it's longer than that, it's just impossible to do. And the problem with me doing a longer video is that, one, I have to sit here for ages, and two, people will feel like I'm misrepresenting what they say, or I've not looked at the whole video, or, because people put this, like Greg Doucette does this for a living. So he puts on like a snapshot of what Ken Berry says. Oh, this guy said it's just atoms that make you fat. He just cuts little bits. I don't want to be like that. I want to be very start to finish. This person's an idiot because of this reason. Here's the information I have, and this is how I'm going to deliver it to you. And hopefully you learn by proxy of critique. Yeah, I have a look. It has to be about 15 minutes of blow, but I'll take a look. Might be some. Yeah, I'll wrap it up now, guys. Thank you all for joining, and thank you very much, Rick, for coming on. So if you're not
Anytime.
subscribed to him, please do. Here's at Charge and Mopar currently on the screen now, as it is. He has lots of entertaining videos. I highly recommend you check them out. Even if there's old ones, the same quality as if it's new ones, so you get a lot of consistency. They're all very, and some are actually very informative and give you a lot of life advice, which is some surprising because you don't expect it when you first click on it. A lot of deals and stuff that he finds and stuff online. So
yeah.
Nice one. I'll leave you to that, guys. Thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you guys next week.